When people are speaking about getting their spark back, I do not keep quiet because boy, oh boy, do I have a story or two, or three, or four, or five to tell. The last 2 years have been throwing rocks, stones, boulders at me, and I completely fell off. But this is everything that I'm doing to get my life back. You are obviously new here because this channel is still growing, but my name is Tari, that is short for Tariro, but you can call me the Muse. Little backstory, in 2023, I lost my relationship, my best friend who I considered my sister, and my dad also passed away in that year. So it felt like a culmination of all these things that had already been happening. But even before then, I felt like I'd forgotten who I was because I was letting all these people talk at me and put ideas into my head and make me feel small. I completely forgot who I was. Coupled that with the death of my father, who I was really close to, I just felt like my life was over. It was not worth living. I started questioning everything that I already knew, and my relationship with God just took a tank dive. Everything was just collapsing. But looking back in retrospect, I feel like that was also God's way of trying to get my attention, because in 2025, baby, he definitely got my attention. That is one of the first things that I'm going to address. Going through that, I just felt that I had to rebuild my relationship with God, and 2025 has been all about that. I now understand why they call it being born again, because the things that God has been doing in my life, I feel like I'm going to do a whole Christian girl series just talking about my journey being reborn again and how my life has been since then, how I'm maintaining a relationship with God. Because I was letting in all these voices, letting people make me feel small, speak over my life. Another thing that I urgently needed to do was speak life over myself, so that anyone who comes, all this external noise, I can block it. If I know who I am, then no one else can tell me who I am, because I know who I am and I'm sure of my identity. When you're not sure of your identity and you don't know who you are, you let other people define you. And that is what was happening to me. And that is one of the major reasons really why I fell off, because I was listening to all these people, all these ideas, everything. It was just coming at me like that, and I just lost my identity. I forgot who I was. But now, baby, no one can tell me anything about me, because I know who I am and I am sure of who I am. I have no doubt whatsoever. Even when things go up and down and round, I have complete confidence in who I am. So I have been shutting down all negative thoughts. It's very hard to shut down negative thoughts, because there are moments where you're just down and you start thinking, maybe I'm not worthy, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not strong enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, and you just let in all those voices. But it's very important that you identify those voices and think to yourself, is this really me thinking, or my thoughts are being influenced? So that is one of the things that I have been trying to get better at, just identifying some voices in my head that are not my own and just pulling that back and being like, girl, that is not you speaking, that is the devil speaking, that is outside voices, that is everyone else except you and the Holy Spirit who resides in you. So I've been shutting down negative thoughts. And on that note, I have the perfect Bible verse for you from Philippians 4, verse 8. It says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." One of the major things that I have completely overhauled is spending way too much time by myself. I have been trying to get out there and spend more time with my friends that actually build me up, friends that speak life over me, friends that have the same values as I have. Because when you don't have the same values, it almost feels like you're tugging and pulling all the time, because you're constantly arguing about these things where you could be enjoying each other's company and building each other, speaking life over each other. If you haven't seen the vlog, my birthday vlog that I spent with my friends, I'm going to put it over here so you can go and watch it. Little highlights of how I spent time with my friends. Oh, we always have a time, and I always forget that that's something that I really need because I am such an introvert. So I spend a lot of time with myself, but I always now try to remind myself that I have these people who actually do care about me. I'm still getting used to not doing everything by myself and remembering I do have a support system, because some of the lies that the enemy tries to like put into our heads is you are by yourself, no one cares about you, and yada yada yada. I have to constantly remind myself that I have a support system, I have a support system, I am loved, I am cared for, I am worthy. And not just by these people outside, but I am worthy to myself, that I love myself, and knowing those things that I love about myself and trying to go outside. And this one I still struggle with, but I have been making strides in the right direction. Still on that support system, I've been trying to be more intentional about who I let into my inner circle, who I let into my inner space, the type of content I consume, anything that I don't like, the type of people that I hang around, the type of people I have conversations with, because these are all things that can really affect your mood. It can affect the way you think, it can affect the trajectory that your life even goes. So I have really been more intentional about the community that I am building around me, the people that I spend my time with, because I am very aware of the impact bad company has. Anyone who drains you emotionally, physically, spiritually, remove, block, delete, do whatever it is that you need to do, like your life depends on it, because it does. Another thing that I'm doing to reclaim my life, to get my life back, is getting back into old hobbies like reading. I used to really love reading, but I just fell off. I just stopped reading. I don't even have a good reason to say, oh, this is why I stopped. This is what was happening. I just feel like I've been fake busy. Fake busy is where you're just doing all those things, but actually, what are you really doing? So this year I am doing a little book challenge. That is 30 books for my 30th year. My current read is Finding Me by Viola Davis, which is so fitting. It is so fitting because I feel like that is what I'm going through. How I was in my 20s and how I am right now is completely different. I feel like year 29 was just the year where things were changing. It was a cleansing of sort that was happening in year 29 that has brought us to this place. One of the most worrying aspects that made even people around me to be like, girl, are you okay? Is how I started dressing. And I was very defensive. I was like, no, I need to be comfortable. This is what suits my job. Because sometimes I'm behind the camera, I'm doing very masculine work, I feel. It's not very masculine. Many women are starting to get more into that, but the environment that I was working from, it was very masculine. So I was like, no, I need to be comfortable. I don't need to be doing makeup. I don't need to do da-da-da-da. I was just giving excuses nonstop. Excuses. But your girl has been trying to dress up a little bit more, to clean up a little bit more, keeping my nails done. And I've really gotten into jewelry, hey? So I've stocked up on jewelry. If you catch me without my jewelry, just know I'm having the worst day of my life. So these are some of the things that I've been doing to get my life back, to get my spark back, and this is just the beginning of my journey, and there is so much more that is lined up. If you liked this video, go ahead and press like, subscribe, and I look forward to sharing more of my experiences with you.